Hello, this is Noreen from Joya Cards, and today we're making a wedding invitation like suite. We've got the wedding invitation, the thank you card, and the save the date. So these are going to be made out of So Inviting. We're going to use our rectangle stitched frames. We're going to use delicate lace and a few other little ones. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, before we do that, you can order invitations from me. If you don't want to go through and make them, you can go on my joyacards.com. You can tell me how many you need, and I can give you a quote. Or if you're in the Denver area, we can do a card class. You can bring your wedding party. You can have some fun. You can have lunch. We can have a little wine or no wine if that's your thing, and you can knock these out in an afternoon and you have all your stuff ready, and you can even have a little consultation, maybe change the colors and stuff. But you can do it either way. You can either piece it together and do it at home. I can make you kits. I can do whatever you need to really pump these out, because it's kind of late in the year to do this. But let's go ahead and start with the wedding invitation. And what we're going to use is the DS paper. The designer series paper is the Perennial Essence, and you're going to cut 2 of these in 5.5 by 6. And then you're also going to take a piece of Whisper White Cardstock, not the regular Whisper White, the heavy stuff, because this is what's going to be in your core of this invitation, because it's got some weight to it. And this is going to be cut in the same size, the 5.5 by 6. So go ahead and take one side of your cardstock. Decide which way you want it to go, because they're all going to kind of vary based on, the paper itself. And then you're going to take your rectangle stitched frames, and you're going to take the second and third largest one, and you're going to tape them together. And then you're going to run them through on your die cutting machine, and you're going to use the Rose Glimmer, and it's going to make this really nice frame. So we're going to take that frame and go ahead and snail it down, because there's nothing really on the back that prevents snail from working, unlike some things. And then go ahead, if you want to measure it out, that's fine, or you can just kind of eyeball it a bit. Let me go ahead and put this down here. Start with the bottom, see how much space you've got, and kind of put it in the middle. Start at the bottom and put it in the middle and go up. Okay, then you're going to take your, out of these 2 frames here, you're going to take the middle frame here, the smaller one, and you're going to cut it in vellum, just the clear vellum. And I have this loaded up on my Stamparatus, and you really, if you're going to do any kind of big project like this, you're going to want your Stamparatus, because you can whip them out. And we're going to take that So Inviting cardstock, and we're going to use You're Invited, the swirly here, the 4 lines here, and To Celebrate. So it all comes from here. And I already pre-lined it up on my Stamparatus the way I wanted to. And I put the piece of vellum, I know it's really hard to see, on the Stamparatus all lined up. Make sure it's straight. And vellum is one product that you have to use, like an alcohol ink, or this is a solvent ink. You need to use your StazOn and black and really give it a good coat. And you can, and if we do a party, you invite your friends or your wedding party, your mother-in-law, your mother, whatever, and we can just make a, assembly line of all this and really get them going. So we're going to give it a nice little stamp, bring it up, and we want to do it again. That's the great thing about the Stamparatus, is that you got another shot at it. If you did it on a block and you didn't quite get it dark enough, you're kind of, out of luck. So go ahead and stamp it again. You're invited, and that looks great. So we're going to pull this up and put this to the side. Then we're going to take that card base again. Now, vellum is see-through. This is why I used it, because you can see the flowers through the vellum, and it's really quite pretty. But how are you going to put this down without the tape showing? Well, what I did is I took some glue dots. Now, I'm using my Take Your Pick tool, and this is great, because if you have like nail polish on, or fingers in general, it sticks to everything. And I'm going to lift up the corner here, and I'm going to put that glue dot right under it and grab the little corner. And that's how I'm going to attach the vellum. So lift up the corner, because it's just snailed, and just kind of put most of it under the frame and put it down. And since we're using, you know, a nested kind of a square frame, just it being inside of the frame itself will kind of hold it down as well. And then here's the fourth one. Lift it up, put it in there, and down. And you're going to take your piece of vellum, start at the bottom, and line it up. You can even put some on the sides if you want, and just make sure it hits. So just like that. That looks really pretty. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to take your detailed lace dies. Here's another one. Now, like I said, if you want me to pre-cut everything and you put it together yourself, that's great. Or if you just want me to make the invitation, I can do that as well. But your delicate lace die, and you're going to use this particular one, and you're going to cut 4 of these on shimmer white. Shimmer white is what I use on most everything that's like a holiday and stuff, because it just really looks pretty. And you're going to cut 4 of these, and this is a 5.5. So do a 5.5 in width, and then line up on every single one, like down to the last little hump right here. And this is where the take your pick tool comes in, because you're going to roll it through. This thing is amazing. I totally recommend getting this. And when you run this die through, even though this is shimmer white, it's not that bad. You want to run it through. I did like 8 times. This is a very detailed die, so do yourself a favor, 8 times through, and it'll pop right out. It'll be a godsend. So I'm going to take a few minutes, and I'm going to take the backs, and I'm going to put them together, and I'm going to glue them with the fine tip glue, and I will also put snail on them as well. I'll do that, and I'll be right back. I went ahead and glued those 4 pieces of paper together, the backs together, and then we're going to take our paper and we're going to snail on the back here. Okay, snail here and here. And go ahead and line up your decorative piece right to the edge of where the decorative piece starts. Okay, do it to both sides. Mind my head, I'm sorry. Okay, so it's going to look like that. Now you don't want a card that looks like that. That looks terrible. So this is where that thick cardstock comes in. We're going to go ahead and snail this down. We're going to take that thick piece of cardstock and line it up to where the card is. Now that you've got your white piece on there, now you want to grab the other side of that DS paper and go ahead and snail that up. Decide which side you want going face up and face down, and line that up over the white. Now you've got your completed card. So this is really nice. So that is the invitation. Now let's do the thank you card. Now we're going to make the thank you card, and all that is a 5.5 by 4 1/4 scored and folded. We're going to take a piece of petal pink, and this one will be 5 1/4 by 4, and the Perennial Essence again in the 5 by 3.75. And when you cut the Perennial Essence, make sure that your flowers are going the wrong way. You don't want to cut them that way. So we're going to go ahead and take our silicone piece here, and we're going to snail this up onto the petal pink, going the right direction, of course. Okay, and then we're going to take that and snail it up on to the card base in the correct direction. And then we're going to take a piece of Granny Apple Green. Now this is cut 1 inch by 5, and just run it like in the middle here. Okay. Next we're going to take our layering circles, and we're going to take the 2 largest layering circles, and we're going to cut the largest one in petal pink and the smaller one in shimmer white. And I've already cut those out. And then I'm going to take the shimmer white piece, grab my Stampin' pad here, and I'm going to stamp thank you with Coastal Cabana. So we'll open that up. stamp that up nice. Bring your piece over, and I'm going to stick my head in the camera, sorry. I'm going to put it right there, and it just fits. You definitely need one of these stamping pads here if you want to work with these clear stamps, because they come out really nice. So that's good. Go ahead and close up your box so you don't dip your fingers in it. And then we're going to take some dimensionals, and we're going to put those on, like 5. Put them on the edges, and then 1 in the middle. Okay, and then lay this over like so, and go ahead and snail it onto the card. I'm going to put it like right in the middle there. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the flowers. Now the flowers are made out of vellum, and this is the Perennial Essence Vellum. So let's go ahead and we're going to heat emboss these. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the powder on, and we're heat embossing it because you know, regular ink doesn't stick to vellum. So we're going to do that, and we're going to take our stamp and grab some Versamark. Make sure it's a clean Versamark, unlike some that I've abused like that. Make sure it's a clean Versamark, because we're going to be doing white, and we're going to stamp 2 of these, 1 and 2. And actually we didn't need to do this one at all, because we're not going to heat emboss the leaves. So we're going to take our white Stampin' Up! Embossing powder, and we're going to cover it like this. And this stamp is from the Floral Essence. It's this stamp right here. We're going to use that for the flower. And I took out that middle center because with the pencil, because I want to put a glue dot there, and it doesn't like the embossing powder. So I'm going to heat emboss this, and I'll be right back. Went ahead and heat embossed these 2, and this is the bottom one because you can see I cleared it out of the center there. And we're going to take the punch that goes with the Floral Essence, and we're going to line these up. Now when you are heat embossing on vellum, be really careful because it can melt. So just wave it over gently. You can see the embossing powder turning, so you know when you're doing something good there. And then of course it's a punch, so you know you gotta kind of manipulate the paper a little bit. There. Okay, so we've got our 2 flowers cut out, and now we're going to do our leaf. So all we have to do to the leaf is, boom, just cut it out with the punch, and that's all you have to do to the leaf. That's kind of nice and simple. And then go ahead, and this is the bottom one. I'm going to curl it under here. Just use your fingers, is probably okay, or you can use a pencil. Give that embossing stuff a little time to cool off a little bit. And then you want to do the top one up. Just curl it up. You got the bottom curled down, the top curled up. We're going to take some glue dots. Take your pick tool and grab a glue dot and put it on that bottom one that you cleared out that embossing powder. Then take your petals and crisscross. So you got that glue dot down, crisscross them like that. Then take another glue dot, turn your flower over, put it in the middle like so, and take your leaves, and you could even curl up your leaves if you want to as well, and crisscross those like that. That's real pretty. Okay, and then we're going to grab some of this ribbon, this organic striped ribbon. Anyway, however you pronounce that. And you go ahead and take your glue dots again and grab one here and just cross them like so. All right, and then take another glue dot, put it on the ribbon. Take another glue dot, put it on the ribbon. take your flower and put it in the middle like that. And then we also have these Perennial Essence Floral Centers. And grab one of those, or 3. And take off the back, because it's just like a little sticker on the back. And put it in the middle like that. And then let's take some glue dots again. And let's put them on the ribbon. Okay, take the ribbon and put it however you want it. I'm going to put it this way. Just like that. So that is the front of the card. And then the inside of the card is just really super simple as well. So the inside is petal pink. We're going to cut that 5.25 by 4 and just snail it. And before I put on my shimmer white, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the flower again. So go ahead and take your Stampin' pad here and the petal. We got our shimmer white, and we're going to take petal pink, and that petal again that we used on for the embossing. We're going to put one here and then cross it just like that, and just I'm going to put my head in the camera, sorry, because I want to get it right over the middle, and like that. It looks great. Make sure you close up your box and go ahead and snail that up and put it on your card front or card base here, and that's it. So there's the thank you card. Now we're going to do save the date. Now this one's pretty easy. We're going to take a different pattern of the Perennial Essence paper, designer paper, and also a shimmery white piece. I always use this for when I'm doing something really nice. So these two are cut 3 by 3, and this one is going to be cut 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So let's go ahead and stamp it first. So we're going to do take that same stamp set that we've been using, which is the So Inviting, and we're going to use save the date and then these blank lines here. So, and we're going to go ahead, and I chose to use Coastal Cabana because Coastal Cabana is a lot in the colors in the cards that you have here. So take save the date, and I have both of them on the same block here. Ink it up in Coastal Cabana and kind of line it up in the middle. Mind my head, sorry. Alrighty. And I am using a block because this one is pretty simple. So there's save the date. And then on the other side, I have the 2 blank lines. Watch my head again. There's my 2 blank lines, and you can fill those out however you want. Take your ink and close it up. Now we're going to take our petal pink ink, and we're going to use a different stamp set, and this one is from Piece of Cake, and we're going to use this cake right here. I'm going to take the petal pink, and we're just going to put it in the corner. And then I really like the little tiny hearts from Music from the Heart. Is this little heart right here, and I got it on the block, and I'm going to put it in the corner. I'm going to put 3 of those. 1, 2, 3, just to give it, you know, something, something. And make sure you close up your ink. And then I'm going to take some of my Stampin' Up pens. Now you could use your blending pens. I just chose these because they're a little easier to get to. And I'm going to use, for the leaves, the Pear Pizzazz. I'm using the Pineapple Punch and Petal Pink again. So I'm going to color up the cake, and I'll be right back. I went ahead and I used the pens, and I colored that up real nice. And now I'm going to put it on my paper. So I'm going to grab my silicone sheet and flip this over. Put it there. Next thing we're going to do is put the ribbon on. Make sure you cut it facing the correct side up. And this ribbon I cut at about 4 inches. You can do like 4.5, but make sure you turn it like that with a nice little twist. Snail up the back and just stick it on the back. And then take your other piece and line it up. And then I did a little, from the Noble Peacock Rhinestones, I put a little pink rhinestone right in the middle. And that's it. So that's the entire suite of cards. So you got the save the date, you have your thank you, and you have your invitation. So if you want to do a party, email me at joyacards.com or Noreen at joyacards.com. Go on my website and join and send me a message. That's joyacards.com. Or like me on my YouTube, but you got to send me a message and your email or a way to get in contact with you. If you want to win one of these cards, because you can win the demo card, you have to not only subscribe to my YouTube channel, you have to join my website and write me a message to tell me how to contact you. If you just subscribe without emailing me or subscribing to my my website, I can get a hold of you, especially if you have a private account. So if you want to win one of these, that's great. And that'll do it. Thank you very much. Bye.